The long path of the four great stages to attain nirvana became very popular following the publication of a guidebook in the 17th century. The inhabitants of Shikoku call the pilgrims the Ohendosa. They are distinguished by their typical white clothing. White symbolizes purity, and the clothes resemble burial shrouds to indicate the intense motivation of these pilgrims. Along the temple trail, we discover the rocks of the Tatsukushi coast. For centuries, the wind and the sea have sculpted these unusual rock formations that plunge into the water like stems of bamboo. In autumn, the journey takes on other colors and tinges the island's unspoiled landscapes with vibrant hues. We continue our journey to Imabari and the Seto Inland Sea. The terrain of Shikoku is mountainous for the most part, and the inhabitants have settled on the few plains along the coast. The train that crosses the island has allowed the cities of Takamatsu and Imabari to develop. Green rice paddies and numerous citrus farms line parts of the coast. The coastal region between Takamatsu and Imabari is known as the Land of Good Weather. The Seto Inland Sea resembles the French coast of the Mediterranean. Imabari was an important crossroads on the Seto Inland Sea. In the Middle Ages, pirates were the guardians of the merchant ships. Today, the shipyard mainly produces cargo vessels and cruise liners. About 30% of Japanese shipping comes from the Imabari yards. Japan, thanks to its close relationship with the sea and exceptional skills in naval construction, produces and delivers hundreds of new ships each year. It is one of the biggest manufacturers in the world. Between the islands of Honshu and Shikoku, in a landscape dotted with uninhabited islets, the road overlooking the Seto Inland Sea is nicknamed the Suspension Bridge Museum. The three bridges over the Kuroshima Strait cross a 2.5-mile section of the Seto Inland Sea. They form the longest suspension bridge complex in the world. The region of Setouchi is conducive to reflection and a luxury lifestyle. 2 motorways and 2 cycle tracks, the bridges can also be crossed on foot in a mesmerizing setting. The Seto Inland Sea has played a key role in the development of the Japanese archipelago. It is 279 miles wide from east to west. For centuries, it has created important cultural and economic links between the different regions that surround it. The trade routes are a place of legends and epic stories, a sea perfect for boating and fishing. The Seto Inland Sea has more than 700 islands. We fly over the west coast of Shikoku to head south to see the mandarin orange harvest. On the hills around the city of Yawatahama, the dry and sunny climate of the Seto Inland Sea allows farmers to grow a local mandarin, the Unshu mandarin. Here, the mountains fall directly into the sea. The farmers knew how to take advantage of this very steep ground, creating a terraced orchard along the hill. In Yawatahama, the mandarin is precocious and fragile. In the middle of stony walls, no machine can pass. Harvesting is done by hand as early as September. The green leaves of the mandarin are nourished both by the sun and by the light reflected off the sea. Thanks to these conditions, the Unshu mandarin has a delicious flavor. The fruit is a popular gift in Japan.